Time to reset your health and fitness goals.
Invincible.
So I'm just gonna be like completely open and honest. I had to go through personally a reset this weekend. I just spent the last couple of days just like resetting everything in my life, and last week was really hard for me. I've already lost 65 pounds, and I for the longest time, like for the past 4.5, 5 years, like fitness and health and living that lifestyle has been my life, right? Like day in and day out, day in and day out, day in and day out, day in and day out of working out and eating healthy. And last week I just went through a lot of like negative stuff, like the people around me, inside my walls and outside. Like I started being, just like attacked, what I felt was attacked, right? And it started to make me get to this point where I was like, man, like worn out and exhausted and just tired. And I just all of a sudden felt like my passion was missing in what I do. And for those of you who don't know, my goal, my mission is to help women lose weight and love themselves again. And also for myself, like keeping a healthy lifestyle and having fun doing that and working out and having goals and leading by example is the way that I like to teach, because it's like so many people out there are like, oh yeah, like go lose weight, go do this, go do that, like go work out, and like it's not part of their lifestyle and they're not doing it, right? And so I pride myself on doing that and being a leader from the front. But last week I just like hit this wall. I hit this hard spot that I didn't want to work out. I didn't want to come to work. I didn't want to make videos anymore. I didn't want to motivate anyone. I didn't want to inspire anyone. I just felt like I had allowed people to get to me. I had allowed the negativity to get to me. I allowed what people were saying about me or saying to me or saying about my program or saying about whatever. Like I allowed it to start getting into my head. And it was really just kind of like painful to go through. And, one night last week, I was literally just sitting at home and I was just like, I just want to sleep. Like, I don't want to do anything. I want to eat pizza. I want to like drink a bottle of wine or something and just like chill here and not do anything. And for the first time in a long time, I felt like I didn't have a clear vision on what I was doing and what my goal was. And so I started feeling all these types of ways, like wanting to quit, right? Like I was just like, I don't want to do this. Like I could just like quit right now and be done. I just had a book come out and like all these really exciting things are actually happening. So it's like, it's not even like, things are bad. Like things are great. Like we're in the middle of freaking momentum. And I just like had hit this time where I was just starting to listen to the negative things around me. And I'm sure that you ladies out there know, like there's so many people that are quick to like tell you everything that you're doing wrong or what they think that you should be doing or how you should be running stuff or what you should be saying or what you should be making and the things that like everything that they would do, right? And, people are quick to judge when they see from the outside looking in, and the same is true in your life. Like there's people that are like, oh, well, you should, parent your kids this way, or you should, if you want to lose weight, you should do it this way, or you should do it that way. And like everyone wants to speak into our lives, right? And we have to be very careful who we allow to do that. And, I seriously just got really overwhelmed with all of it last week. And was just like, I don't know what direction to go in anymore, or why I'm doing it, or who I'm doing it for. And what I realized, like stepping back and I started to reflect on, why do I feel this? Like, why am I feeling like this? Like I live this lifestyle every day. It's a part of me. Like, none of this is actually true about me, but why am I letting it get to me? And I realized that it was because I wasn't focused. I didn't have a clear vision on my goals anymore. And I didn't have a clear vision on my mission anymore and what I was trying to accomplish. And when that kind of gets foggy or cloudy, when you're not like, focused on it, or, for you ladies out there, like focused on your health goal or focused on goals that you have on your marriage or goals that you have in your business. And when you're not clearly defined anymore, and you haven't adjusted for where your lifestyle is now, then it starts to get foggy and gray, and then it's kind of just like you start like pushing it aside, and it's not like the focus or the forefront anymore. And because I wasn't solely focused on that goal, I started to get like distracted by what other people were saying and doing, and instead of being focused on where I was going. And so this is really important right here. Like, instead of focusing on what other people are saying and doing, you have to focus on where you're going. All right. So, this concept of the reset. And I do this actually every couple of months. I reset myself because like our goals get stale, right? Like things that were in the beginning, like how does something, a goal that you set maybe in your health of like wanting to lose, for me, like 65 pounds. So I use that for example. Say you set a goal a couple months ago, like, hey, I'm gonna lose 65 pounds. I'm fired up for this. Like, here's my why, here's my goal, here's my vision, here's what I'm gonna do it. And a couple months go down the road and like you could care less about losing any weight. Like you're just bored of it. You're tired of it. Like you're done, like trying, you're done like, sacrificing, and it's not as exciting as it was to you a couple months ago. So how do we re-energize ourselves to get to that goal, right? How do we, what I like to call reset ourselves to focus in on that goal and actually like get after it again, and without quitting, right? Because the reset point comes right before the quitting point. Okay, it's at the point where you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm just gonna give up on trying to lose this weight, or I'm gonna give up on this goal that I set for myself, or I'm gonna give up on trying to do this because it's just getting too hard, or it's getting to a point where it's getting in the way, or I'm just not doing it, or I'm not passionate about it anymore. And so we really need to stop and focus. Like if it's something that we actually really want, which a couple of months ago or a year ago or whatever, like obviously we really wanted it, right? Or we wouldn't have set it as the goal. So we have to stop and think like, okay, I'm tired, I'm like exhausted, it doesn't seem awesome to me anymore. Because in this world today, like it's always perceived that like, oh, like all these people are like superheroes, right? Like, oh my gosh, they never get tired, they never slow down, like they never fall off the bandwagon. I just want you to know that like, yes, like just because it's not perceived so, everyone falls off the bandwagon. Everyone has a day like this, everyone has a week like this or a month like this where it's like freaking forget everything, right? Like I don't want to do it anymore. Like every single person hits this point, and it's just like I'm just gonna be honest and open that like, yeah, everyone goes through it. So you're not the only one. Don't feel like you're the only one, because trust me, you're not. And people that say that they don't, like they're just putting on a facade. Okay, I'll tell you that. All right, and for me, like I just felt like kind of burned out. And when you get to that burnout point, that's like right before the quitting point, it's like, okay, now I know it's time to reset. And it was because I didn't feel like I was moving forward in my goals, that I was just like ready to just like put them aside, right? I was like stuck in a rut with them, and it felt terrible. Like this point, like when you know that you need to reset, like you feel terrible. You're like, you don't know which way to go. Like you feel like you're like stuck in this box that you like can't do anything. You're like trapped because you're like, I don't want to move forward on this goal because it's freaking, I'm over it, right? But I don't know what to do, and I don't know like what's wrong with me. All right, and this is what I kept asking myself last week, like what's wrong with me? Like what's wrong with me? Why don't I want to do this? Like why am I broken? Why am I like breaking down, right? Like what's wrong with me is what I kept asking myself, because other people kept asking me like, what's wrong with you? And it's such a terrible question to ask someone, right? Like, it's such a terrible question. What's wrong with you, right? Like, we should instead probably ask, like, what are you struggling with right now? That's, like, such a more open question to ask ourselves, right? Like, what am I struggling with right now? And so I was just honest. I was like, you know what? Like, I'm struggling at being, like, passionate about going to the gym every day. Because for me, like, I've been doing it every day for 5 years. Like, and I was at the point, too, where I was, like, struggling with, like, wanting to go to work and being passionate about doing the stuff I do every day, because to me it was starting to get to like day to day, and it was starting to get repetitive, and it was starting to get like boring, just like other stuff does, right? Like how can I re-engage myself? And what I've learned over the years is that you can totally hit the reset button on yourself. So when you start to feel this way, when you start to go through this, like, realize, number one, you're not the only one, okay? Like, literally I go through this, like, probably every 90 days. I'm like, the sky is falling, and then I have to reset everything. And I'm just like, and that's okay. As long as it gets you to the end goal, it gets you remotivated, it's okay. But the first thing you have to do is, like, admit that you need to reset, which is the hardest part, because you don't want to, like, admit that you're not working as hard as you could. You don't. And that's for me. I'm just like, well, I didn't want to admit that I wasn't, like, giving it 110%. Like, I didn't want to admit that I wasn't, like, 100% passionate at going to the gym, and, like, 100% at doing my workouts, and 100% at eating healthy, and 100% at doing what I was supposed to do. Like, I wasn't. But it's not until you're willing to say, like, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, that you can actually, like, change it and get yourself back on track, right? How many of you guys, like, know what I'm talking about right now? Like, seriously, right? And, for me, I was like, wow, it's time for the reset. And do you guys know how, like, when you're at home and you're on your Wi-Fi, you're on Facebook or whatever, and you're on Wi-Fi, you're surfing the internet, and all of a sudden, like, the Wi-Fi is, like, messing up, and it's, like, not working, and little things just spinning, but nothing's actually loading. It's just spinning and spinning and spinning. The Wi-Fi wheel is just spinning, but it's not loading, and you're like, what is happening? And then you're like, oh, okay, so-and-so, one of you kids, like, we need to go reset the Wi-Fi, right? Or, like, you tell your husband, you're like, hey, can you go reset the Wi-Fi? You all act like, I always act like, hey, I don't know how to reset the Wi-Fi. B, we go reset the Wi-Fi. Shh, don't tell him. And so he's like, yeah, I'll go reset it. And then what happens when they reset it, right? Or you reset it. So you reset the Wi-Fi, and then what happens? Like, a couple of minutes go by, right? And all of a sudden it's like, boom, and it's working perfectly after it's reset, right? And you're like, oh, it's like magic. For those of you who are, like, my age or a little older, you guys remember Nintendo 64s, right? Like, we'd be like playing like 007, blah, 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 like, like, and all of a sudden the game would start to get glitchy, right? And it would stop, like, working, or it wouldn't be, like, playing right, or be, like, laggy. And we're like, we gotta reset it. And then you'd have to, like, pull the cartridge out of the Nintendo 64. You have blowing it. You'd have to hit the reset button, bam, like, throw it back in there, right? Pop on top. And what happened? Like, the game would start working right again, right? And it wasn't that your Wi-Fi was broken. It wasn't that your Nintendo 64 was broken, right? It just needed a reset. And that's exactly what you need and what I needed, right? Like, we're not broken. We just need a reset. And once I realized that, I was like, oh my gosh, right? Because I kept quitting at this point and then be like, okay, I got to change everything. Like, forget all these goals. I don't care about any of this anymore. What I used to do in weight loss. And I, get to a point, and I'd get to, like, the reset point, and instead of resetting, I'd quit. And I'd be like, forget losing weight. And I'd quit, like, 20 pounds in or whatever, and then start all over again. So you don't want to, like, quit and start all over again. You just need to reset, right? And so for me, this week, I just decided to have, like, I wanted to reset spiritually. I wanted to reset mentally. I wanted to reset physically. And I needed it a lot more than I actually thought. And this is what I find, too, all the time, is I feel it in one area, but then I go reset, like, all of the areas of my life. And it just, like, propels me to wanting to go get stuff done and being remotivated and repassionate and, everything. And whenever you feel like you are stuck in a rut, it's because you have no gas in the tank, right? It's not actually, like, the rut that you're stuck in. It's because you don't have the gas to, like, get out of the rut, right? And so all about going through a reset is all about filling your tank back up with the gas you need to go tackle those goals. And, so after admitting that I was, like, lollygagging through life, I don't know if that's a real word, but I love that word, lollygagging. I was totally lollygagging. And, I was like, okay, it's time to have a come to Jesus moment with myself. And so I literally told my husband, I was like, I have to, like, go away for a couple days. I have to, like, reset. I have to, like, refigure out where I'm at, what I'm doing, what my goals are. And, my awesome husband, you don't need to go, like, to this extreme, but I felt like I was at that extreme of a point that I needed to be, like, separated from my day-to-day life, because, we're entrepreneurs, we run this business, we run LadyBoss Weight Loss, and for me to actually be able to have the reset, I had to unplug myself from everything that was my day-to-day, or else I would have found myself, like, trying to work in the business, trying to go to the gym, and everything still would have been, like, lackadaisical as I was doing it. So I decided that I wanted to go away for a couple of days, and so he was like, okay, let's do it, like, totally. And I went to this awesome place and just took my journal along, my iPad, and myself. And I literally put my phone in airplane mode for 4 days. And it's actually our anniversary coming up. So we kind of did it as like a reset for our marriage and ourselves and our business and our, physical goals, health goals and all this stuff, growth goals. Literally put my phone in airplane mode for like 4 days, and I was like, this is my reset. Like, no technology, no crap going on. Like, I have to focus on where my life is going in this next season. And so here's what I did, and I wanted to share this with you because I think that if you would sit down and do this, like, it would really, really help you go through the reset process and just refine your passion for your goal, reset your health and fitness goal, and really give you that gas in the tank that you need to get out of the rut and to get going again, right? So here's what I did. The first thing is I sat down and, just in a quiet place, like no distractions, by myself, somewhere nice and calm where you can like relax and just like clear your mind. And the first thing I wrote out was my life's mission. So what is my mission in life? As of right now, like what are the things that I want to accomplish, and what's my mission? What is my soul mission? Because if you don't have a mission for life, then you can't really set your goals according to your mission, right? So first you have to have the mission. And so I wrote out like what my mission was for life, and use my abilities and helping women lose weight and love themselves again, and being able to contribute in a big way, and also growing for myself and all that stuff. So I wrote my mission statement. So that's the first thing you should do, is write your mission statement for your life. And the second thing that I did is I categorized all the different areas of my life that I wanted to grow in. And so, the first one for me was like my walk with Christ, my marriage, my growth, my business, my health, my contribution, my relationships, like all of it, everything I wrote as a category. And then I went back through and I wrote the goals for each of those categories that I wanted to achieve. So like, in growth, I want to read 2 personal development books this month. In my health, I want to make sure that I'm doing cardio or working out every morning and lifting every day. And that just like brings me peace. That's how I like to do it. And, then like I went back through each category and I picked the top 3 things. The top 3 things that I was like, if I accomplish these 3 things over the next month, like that would be freaking awesome, right? And so I circled those 3 things for each category. And then I went back and looked and I said, okay, so if these are the things that I want to accomplish this month that I can be excited about, because when we set like goals like way in the future, like I have the way in the future goals, but when we set like monthly goals and it's something that like we feel like is going to happen right around the corner, we're not like waiting for forever. We're like, oh, it's so far away, like I'll do everything at the last minute to get to the goal, right? So I set all of these for monthly goals, and then I went back through and I wrote out, okay, for me to get this done this month, for example, if I want to read 2 personal development books this month, then what do I need to do on the daily to get that done? And then so I obviously wrote in like I need to read daily. And so then after I went back through and wrote all those task things that needed to be done to be able to get to that goal for the month, then I scheduled it into my day. So for me now, like when I do cardio, because it's something I'm already doing, that's when I'm going to read my personal development book, because I do cardio daily, which is another one of my goals. So I just like tag teamed them. And then I'll be able to read during my cardio. So it like kills out, 2 birds with 1 stone. But I'm getting both of those goals done. And because it's scheduled in my day, it'll happen. If you think about it, like we schedule everything in our day. From the time that we wake up to when we brush our teeth, to when we have our coffee and we have our breakfast and we wake our kids up, to when we take them to daycare, we drop them off at school, and then we go to work, and then we have lunch at a certain time, and then we leave work at a certain time, we pick our kids up at a certain time, we have dinner at a certain time, we go to bed at a certain time, right? So when you think about it, it's like, wow, like if I would just schedule it into my day, like everything else is scheduled, then it'll happen. And so you actually schedule a time. So for me, I decided to get up at 6:15, and so from 6:15 to 7 o'clock, I will read my personal development. I will do my cardio. And then from 7 to 7:30 is mine and Brandon's time, because we want to be able to grow in our marriage. So we're going to do like a couples Bible study every morning from 7 to 7:30 to help us grow in our marriage. And then I just worked everything that I wanted to accomplish. I worked in that time for each day to be able to do it, right? So now that it's scheduled in, it's easy. It becomes easy, because when you have all these goals that you want to accomplish and you never like schedule it, and you never like create the task to be done to get to that goal, then that's why we never get there, because it's just like an idea and it's like up here. But until you like bring it down here and put it in your day, so it's an action item, then it'll never happen, right? Makes sense, right? And, I'm not going to lie, like, it's a hard process having to go through that and, like, admit, like, okay, I'm not doing well in this area. I could be doing a lot better. Like, asking those questions that hurt, right? Like, how can I be a better wife? How can I be a better leader for all the lady bosses that are out there? How can I, and then really, like, writing those things down. Like, how can I be better? Like, how can I grow in this area? And then being willing and open to change and admit fault. And it's obviously something that I'm working on more and more every day, is just like to take advice, being able to take advice and then discern what advice moves me forward in life. And and it's really going to help you feel excited. Like, going through this process is going to help you feel so excited and like ready to tackle your day and like do everything and have fun doing it again, because now you've reestablished focus in that area, or in all areas for you. And so before you throw in the towel of wanting to, lose your 50 pounds, or you throw in the towel of wanting to, grow this month, or have a better marriage, or be a better mom, or, prep all of your meals. Like, before you throw in the towel on that, like, stop and reset yourself in that area. Because I promise you, and especially for me, like, even in the physical, in the health realm, it's like the best time to do that is whenever you start to feel like you're getting bored with your routine, on the track to getting healthy and losing weight. And when you stop and like reset and refocus, and it's like, oh, well, I've already lost 30 pounds, like my goal is to lose this amount of weight, or this amount of body fat, or put on this amount of muscle, or whatever it is, and reestablish that, and reestablish how you're going to do it, and scheduling in like when you're going to prep your meals, and when you're going to work out every single day, and what exact time, because then when it's scheduled in, like, you're actually going to do it, right? And so I just want you to take some time right now or today, like, find that quiet place for you, grab a journal, grab a pen, and go through those questions and ask yourself those things, and give yourself the time and the attention to actually reset. Because if you don't reset and you just keep going like you're going, you're just gonna kind of like half-ass everything, right? Like, it's all just gonna be like half of your potential. But if you stop and reset and get refocused and re-excited and fuel up your gas tank again, and freaking blow yourself off and reset yourself, like, you're gonna actually be able to get a lot more done. And just know that we all go through it. Everyone goes through it, whether they talk about it or admit it or not, like, they go through it. And this process is really going to help you in that. It has helped me tremendously over the last week. So take some time today, hit your reset button, have some fun doing it, and I can't wait to hear from you, like, how you're doing after your reset. Because for me, I feel super charged up. I feel super excited. I feel super motivated. I feel super happy about chasing down my goals again. And I can't wait for you to have that too. Bye.